This is an '07 Toyota Yaris, and this is the front of the vehicle, passenger side. And the problem that I've been having is this hub system has been getting hot. So at times it feels like it's grabbing or sticking, and after a short while of driving, I've grabbed the lug nuts and especially this axle part here, and it's been very warm, almost too hot to hold. Sometimes it has been too hot to hold. So something's going on this passenger side, and I'm assuming it's the brake pads, but that's what I need to find out today. So I'm going to dismantle all this and do a brake job on the two front tires. Got the car jacked up. So Toyota recommends lifting it. Toyota recommends lifting it in the center spot of the main cross member for the suspension. So this is the passenger side wheel, and here's the main member that runs from tire to tire, the main support member, and they recommend lifting it on the center spot. So and this is a recommendation in the owner's manual. And there's the driver's side wheel. So you can see kind of where I lifted it, right at that curved part. And you have to get it on there pretty, you have to spend some time getting it on there just right. But that's the part that they recommend lifting at. And then I set the jack stands. So I set the jack stands on the standard spot where if you get a flat tire, that's where you lift. I'm still going to leave the jack in the center, just because it's already set in a spot and it's not really going to be in the way. This is the passenger side caliper and hub system, and this car has about 40,000 miles on it, so visually it looks pretty good for 40,000 miles. It's not scored too bad. I'm still going to get it. Oh, I see some pitting. The camera probably can't pick it up, but I do see some pitting. So I'm probably going to get the disc turned on both sides. Take those in and get them turned. So I've got to remove this today and figure out if the pads are getting jammed. Toyota recommends that you score a line that on the hub and the disc, so that you put the disc on the same way it came off. So they recommend you making a reference mark so that when you go to put this back on, it's put on the exact same way. I have a feeling they recommend that because it's a 4-lug instead of 5 or more. So it's probably a good idea if you do that. I believe these holes, there's nothing in there. So what I think they are is if the disc gets frozen onto the hub. This is the wrong size screw, but just to show you, I think you're able to put a bolt in there to help push it off the hub. So you'd need 2 of them. And I'm guessing it's metric, so hopefully I won't have to use that. This is a scratch-all, an old one. So probably on one of the lug nuts, or not lug. So I'm going to scratch a mark near one of the studs for the lug nuts. So it's pretty good iron. Doesn't feel like it's really going deep into the metal. The one that you have to really scratch the most is the disc, because they'll be grinding it and getting oil all over it. So, well, maybe not oil, but that's the one that'll probably get stuff washed off. So the camera can see it a little bit, multiple scratches. It looked like it did pretty good in the disc, so I'm going to call that good. I'm not going to use a ton of brake cleaner on the hub system anyways, so there's the scratch mark, so that the brake disc goes back on the hub system the way it's supposed to, the same way that it came off. The next thing I'm going to do is take this caliper off, half of it. This is a weird caliper system, and right there in the dead center of the picture, you'll see a line through like a nut. Apparently you have to hold that while you undo that bolt. So I've never done this before. I've heard 11/16 box open and wrench fits that the best. So we'll see how it works. I'm probably going to use a breaker bar to break that nut loose. But this is all new to me. I've never worked on this, so we'll see how it works. Oh, and notice that this is the right caliper. This is my breaker bar. This is pretty long. There's no ratcheting system on breaker bars because they're designed to give you a lot of leverage to break loose bolts. So this is the step down. It goes to 3/8. If you have 1/2 inch, that's probably better, and a little bit of extension. This is a 6-point socket. Whenever you do, whenever you're breaking bolts loose, if you can, you want to use a 6-point. They're less likely to strip the bolt. If you have to use a 12, that's okay, but that's why they make 6-point and 12-point. Okay. And with 12-point, if you've ever worked with tools like this, 12-point allows more positions, because sometimes you don't have a lot of room for this handle system. So that's when you use a 12-point. So I have 11/16, but it's too wide. So you need a narrow head. So this is just to show the difference. This is not 11/16 and it will not fit. But see, it won't fit over the, but if you notice, it's a lot narrower. So if you see, and I need 11/16 probably at the same thickness as the one on the right, the thinner one. This is a stubby 11/16, and even this one still won't fit. It's a little bit closer, but it won't fit over the hex pattern. As usual, an adjustable wrench. They are designed well. I don't really want to use this, but I'm probably going to just so I can get this apart. I'm hoping the adjustable wrench will have enough bite to hold that while I break the nut loose, or I mean the bolt. The problem with using the adjustable wrench is it might strip out the hex pattern on the it might strip those out. So it's a risk I'm going to take, because even the 11/16 I guess is not a perfect fit either. Okay, so as you can see, it worked on both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and take them all the way out. Surprisingly, it came out very easy. Maybe they were not, very corroded, but I was surprised how easy they came undone. So, and get yourself a breaker bar, because those work really well.